Hey everyone, welcome back to more political chatter. We're doing another 2024 election prediction. This one is between Joe Biden and Ron DeSantis. So I think that this is the third most likely matchup in 2024. Joe Biden is the incumbent president. Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, who has risen in popularity very significantly in the recent months, especially during 2022. CPAC was held in his state, and he is an immensely popular governor. Almost all Republicans support him, independents like him, and hey, many Democrats even like him in the state of Florida. He's definitely going to win re-election in 2022, and essentially he's extremely popular. Joe Biden, not so much. His approval ratings are underwater, and he is a Democratic president. He has declared his intent to run for a second term. So, as I was saying, this I think is the third most likely matchup. I think that Biden v. Trump is the most likely. I think that Harris v. Trump is second most likely. And I think that Biden v. DeSantis is third most likely. So let's get into this election prediction. Starting off with Biden safe states: California, Hawaii, Washington, Maryland, his home state Delaware, just because it is his home state, New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont. Going to states like D.C. also. Going to states like Oregon, Illinois, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Maine's first. All states that went, besides Illinois, all states that went likely for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and really almost went likely for Joe Biden in 2020, with the exception of Connecticut. And I'd have to look at Maine's first, but I think Maine's first too. Illinois, on the other hand, I think would go to Joe Biden by likely margin. If we go back to 2020, Joe Biden won the state of Illinois by 17 percentage points. Trump just needs 2 more points in 2020, and it becomes a likely state. It has been shifting right. Actually, in 2020, it was one of the few states that shifted to the right, which is absolutely insane in my mind, saying how states like, some other states shifted like 10 points to the left. So I do think that Illinois would go likely blue. I think that the others would as well. Going to safe DeSantis states: Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, North and South Dakota, and going to states like Kansas and Nebraska's second, and Nebraska's first that did go likely for Donald Trump in 2020, but almost went safe. I think would be safe. I think that Ron DeSantis will have the popularity and momentum to win Kansas and Nebraska second safe. Nebraska's third, of course, would be safe. He's going to do very well in the South because he is a Southern guy. He comes from the state of Florida. He's really going to reunite this Trump base, and I should say unite the Trump base once again. They really didn't disunite. So I think that these would be all the safe states, and you might see Texas or Florida and be like, what? Oh, South Carolina also. But Texas and Florida and be like, what? Well, I'm going to get to those. And I think that they will go likely, and I have reasoning. I think that Alaska will also go safe. Well, actually, we have 2 more. We have a lot more. So Alaska, I think, would be safe. I think it's going to shift more than 5 points towards DeSantis just because of Biden's handling of the economy. I do think that Iowa and Iowa and Ohio would both go to DeSantis by a safe margin. If we remember back to 2016 and 2020, Donald Trump did well here in both of these states. Even when the Democrats were above water, we have to remember that. And he did very well here. These are becoming more Republican strongholds. And with Democrats now underwater, that would just propel the Republicans so much more in these 2 states. Plus, it's part of the Rust Belt, and a major focus in voters' minds in 2024 will be the economy. Inflation is high, and if there's a recession or still inflation is high in 2024, in the Rust Belt, where a place known for jobs that are being lost by the minute, Ron DeSantis will really appeal to these people here. But going to Virginia, I think that this would stay lean Biden. I just think that Ron DeSantis is too closely aligned with Trump. And what we have to remember is that they elected a Republican governor only because he wasn't that affiliated with Trump. Remember, Hillary Clinton did better here in 2016 than 2012. It's clear that Virginia does not like Trump. And I just think that DeSantis is too closely aligned with Trump, and I think that Virginia voters will deny him, even those who voted for Glenn Youngkin in 2020. one. All right, moving on to Texas and Florida, 2 states I do think would go likely Republican. Hear me out. I think that they will go very close to becoming safe. I will say that, but I don't see it quite there. Texas, I think, will be very close because Ron DeSantis comes from the South. But that would mean they would have to shift 10 points. And, it definitely could. But it is shifting blue. It is, going blue by the day. More Democrats coming in. And I think that by 2024, there will be enough of that effect for it to go likely to DeSantis. Florida went to Trump by 13 points, so realistically, I'm sorry, not 13, 3 points. So realistically, is it going to shift 12 points towards DeSantis? No, it is not. Trump was really able to do it since he was Trump, and, his remarks, as crazy as they seemed, they appealed to these people. And Ron DeSantis will be seen as more of an acceptable version of Trump, because he shares all the Trump policies, so he will therefore get the Trump base to go out and vote. But then again, what was I going to say? He doesn't, go out and say the crazy stuff that Trump does. So voters, especially independents, are going to like that a lot more, and anti-Trump Republicans, and they will turn out for Ron DeSantis. So going down to New Mexico and Colorado, I think that both of these would go to Joe Biden by a lean margin. Ron DeSantis might have something in New Mexico, but really in both of these states, I don't see it. I see Biden winning here. In both of these states by a lean margin. Of course, it's not going to be a landslide victory, but I just don't think that Ron DeSantis will have much here, especially 2 states with such high minorities that, I'm going to like DeSantis very much. They might like Marco Rubio, Republican, but really for someone like Ron DeSantis, I don't, they're not really, they're not going to go to Ron DeSantis at this point in time. But moving on to Arizona and Nevada, 2 states I do think would go to Ron DeSantis. Arizona only went to Biden because of Trump's remarks about John McCain, and that turned off a lot of voters here. And there are a lot more Republicans than Democrats in the state of Arizona. And he's going to reunite the Republicans in the state of Arizona, and he will be able to win here by a wide margin. Nevada is only lean because there are more Democrats here, and it generally is more of a swing state. I shouldn't really say that, but it is more, I guess I could just say it is more of a state that has a lot of Democrats. Moving on to Maine, Nebraska second. This will go lean DeSantis. It went lean Trump in 2016, so I think it would once again do that. Going down to Georgia, he's going to win in Georgia, North Carolina. Georgia lean. North Carolina likely. Georgia lean because it did go to Biden in 2020. We have to remember that. North Carolina did not. I think that a Southern appeal really will have an influence, and with Democrats not energized to go out and vote, I really think that Georgia, of course, will be very much closer than North Carolina. North Carolina likely. Georgia lean. Going up to Minnesota, this is a state I think that Biden could pull out a win. Remember, this did go to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Alright, so we do have to keep that in mind. And sure, DeSantis will be more acceptable, but I really don't see him having anything in cities. I don't really see him connecting with voters in suburbs here, like anywhere, in the state of Minnesota. So I don't really see DeSantis having much here, and I think that it will go to Biden. Going up to New Hampshire, this is definitely a state where I see him connecting to the parents in the suburbs. I think that would go lean DeSantis. I think he will flip the state blue. Maine second, he will do very well in this rural district, especially among the young voters. That would be likely to DeSantis, and that means Maine at large would be lean Biden. And going to the blue wall, I think that DeSantis will do better in the blue wall. I think it's going to be a lean win for him in all these states. I mean, he will return that white working class back to the Republican Party, some that Biden won in 2020, but with his handling of the economy, many will be turned away, and Biden will be able to, DeSantis will be able to win these 3 states. So this is the final map. Ron DeSantis wins with 317 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 221. Interestingly enough, we have no tilt states, which is pretty cool. DeSantis could be our next president. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you all for the next video.